Hello everyone and welcome back to Animation Pilgrimage, the show where Sean and I take a look at every single theatrically released animated film in chronological order. I'm Tennille.
I'm Sean, and today we are looking at the Pannonia film from Hungary called Mattie the Goose-Boy. It's a Robin Hood style story.
Styled is loose.
I'm going to say that in the sense of that's what a lot of Western
People
audiences are going to equate it to.
I mean, and it's the vigilante making fun of the ruling class kind of story.
How about we go over the plot synopsis? I think that's pretty important to get out of the way real quick here.
Yeah.
So, there is an evil tyrant that does whatever the hell he wants in his country, and no one can disobey him no matter what happens.
Because everyone's too scared of him.
Yep. Except for one young boy who has a goose. His name is Mattie. The king wants to kill his goose for fun sport. Just for the hell of it. Mattie refuses, and so he is lashed 25 times. Mattie then swears revenge against this evil king, or ruler.
Swears to get justice.
He swears to get him lashed thrice over. So he's going to lash him 25 times, 3 times.
Yeah.
And then he leaves the story for 3 years as he becomes older and prepares. He then succeeds in lashing this evil king 3 times over.
The first time is because he disguises himself as an Italian.
An Italian architect who's going to help him complete his castle. And then he tricks his whole guard into cutting down massive trees, tiring them out, and he ties the king to a giant tree and whips him 25 times and leaves. After that, the king outlaws all mentions of geese and all boys with the name of Mattie.
Okay.
And then he needs a doctor to tend to his whipping wounds. Mattie disguises himself as a doctor, tricks all the guards to leave the castle again to go get him herbs or some shit, and wraps the king up in cloths and whips him a second 25 times. After that, he waits until winter comes. The king is terrified of being whipped again, so he doesn't leave his castle until one specific day, and he goes out in full force. He has got an entire army of thugs to protect him. It is on this day that Mattie gets
a lookalike
to ride the fastest horse ever away. The king is terrified, and he sends all of his forces after this lookalike. And so once he is alone, Mattie walks up to him and whips him the final 25 times.
And then everyone stands around and laughs,
says,
and what a buffoon.
Congratulations!
And goes, good job, Mattie!
You did the thing!
You really did it! You really showed him one!
Man, I'm so glad about the part where random citizens were tortured because you exist and made our lives worse. And now you're just leaving, and now the king will just continue to be a terrible, evil human being in control of this country, and he's just gonna be worse now because you did this to him. Mattie, there is only one way to stop a tyrant from being a tyrant. They need to stop being a tyrant, whether because their life ends or
because you remove them from power completely.
Those are your options here, Mattie. You did not do enough. Slapping him a few times is not going to make him change his mind.
No, it's not going to humiliate him into being a better person. And I know this is it's not even a children's fable. This is based off of a epic poem, a pretty popular Hungarian epic poem, which is why it was adapted by a Hungarian studio, and it's like a folklore that is supposed to lift people up, and,
I get that, but now's not the time.
Yeah, now's not the time.
1977 might have been the time, but now, when we're reviewing this, is not the time.
Yeah,
A tyrant cannot be allowed to be a tyrant.
Yeah.
Okay?
This is a...
This movie just made us angry.
Yeah. And it's not good either.
The animation's not great. The story is boring.
The animation would be
It's
good,
fine.
and then, like, it varies in quality a lot. It's not consistent. There's a lot of bloated content here. It took us, a few minutes to tell you guys the story, but this was a 75-minute movie, and...
It did not need that.
Good half of it could have been cut to make this, like, a tighter script. And then, you take the content in there and you're like,
This is unfortunately very applicable to today and does not give the desired results.
Yeah, no. This is very unsatisfying to watch.
So I wouldn't suggest watching it unless you want a lesson of what is not enough.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I don't have much more to say about this one.
I do have a few more notes about this film.
Oh, neat.
This is directed by Attila Dargay, and he'll direct some other Pannonia films in the future, and that we'll be watching in the next few years here on Animation Pilgrimage. And he also was a writer on a film that I grew up with.
Okay.
And I don't know if anyone else here in the audience will have grown up with it. But it's a little movie from Feature Family Films, of all people, which isn't a good start because they make horrible propaganda content. The Seventh Brother.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
It's this pretty bad direct-to-DVD film about a dog that gets lost in the woods and gets adopted by a family of rabbits. It's harmless, really. Like, there's nothing bad about it in, like, its content. It's just not a very well-made film. And It's got some, like, very cheesy, I think, 90s-isms to it. And, like,
Aren't,
songs.
like, all the dog... Wait, I think I might know what
The
this
dog's
is.
name's Tiny.
The rabbits and all the dogs are super, like, big-headed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then I actually kind of know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, I do feel like I've been given a little bit more context to this film I remember watching growing up. It's like, oh, it was Hungarian, so that's why, like, the lip sync wasn't right.
Okay.
You know,
Who knows?
so, like,
The
writing might have been better in its original language than the version I saw.
Now, you said it was direct to, like, VHS, but we'll have to wait and see if it actually shows up on Animation Pilgrimage or not.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was.
Okay. I mean, I'll believe you.
Yeah.
I think that's it. We've said our piece.
Yeah. Hopefully this guy directs better movies in the future, but I don't know. We'll see.
Either way, join us back here next time as we have Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown.
Oh boy, another Charlie Brown movie.
Good grief.
Good grief.
See you guys then.